Hey guys. Hi everyone. Um so what? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, you guys. I just got an amazing notice. It's an email from someone named Jay. um Congratulations, your podcast is now being ranked in Apple Podcast charts. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? I had a little bit of a technical glitch on my end. So if you had a white screen, if you couldn't hear me, it's not you, it's me. That's like the ultimate effing breakup line. It's not you, it's me. Have you guys ever broken up with someone like that? Like telling them it's not you, it's me. I've never broken up with someone in that way. I mean, granted, I haven't had many boyfriends. I haven't. I don't like people that much. I'm serious. I'm kind of the type that's like, I don't know. What's your intention? And if I break up with you, I'm totally not going to spare your feelings. I'm not going to be like, it's not you. It's me. I'm going to be like, no, it's all you. I'm not feeling you, bruh. Oh my God. That's probably why I just didn't have very many boyfriends in my youth or in my adulthood because I think I'm vicious in relationships. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. All right. So this reading is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for those of us who find ourselves on this channel without any Piscean anything. You're probably an empath. You're probably needing messages from your soul. All right. So fix my mic. Put on your big kid chonies. We about to take a wild AF ride. Okay. I asked what this reading was going to be about. And what I got is sometimes the scariest option is the best choice. Okay. Think of something that you had to decide. You had to make a decision of some kind. And, you know, it was difficult. Maybe you had to stop working somewhere. Maybe you had to, I don't know. I don't like making examples because it's kind of like it's hard for me. It's hard for me to think of examples because sometimes I get worried that like I don't want to hurt people's feelings and this and that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of this thing of like, think of a time where you had to make a decision that was very, very difficult for you. And in that decision-making process, you chose something that you knew was right, but it hurt you anyways. You know what I mean? It really hurt your heart. It was something that caused you to feel as though maybe you felt like you weren't being a good person. Maybe you felt like it had something to do with like loyalty and not abandoning people and, you know, this and that, because Pisceans and empaths in general, we have this tendency to feel as though we're obligated to love people until they reach their potentiality. You don't get to say if someone's going to tap into that potential or not. You really don't. And this concept of loving someone into wholeness, it does not typically make a person whole. It just doesn't. Some of the things that I've noticed When we love someone so wholeheartedly and believe so completely and deeply in their potentiality, refusing to see the reality of what's going on, we have a tendency to really enable their toxicity. Okay. Do you want to be the enabler? Do they love you, or um do they love what your do they love what your presence can do for them, right? Does your presence make them feel stronger, but what you're empowering are their insecurities? That's not going to be good. That's not love. That's not love. That's something that is not love. That's called enablement. Let me just say it. It's called enablement. We don't want to enable people's distorted beliefs about themselves. We just don't. I've found I've loved so many people, right? Um, and this is love that is not just romantic. I've loved so many people with a desire to support them in their process of becoming whole. And it's become this thing of time and time and time again. What I always see is what I always see, okay? Um, all I'm doing is loving whatever you've chosen. Let that sink in. If you've chosen to remain in a toxic state, my love and my presence will amplify and empower that toxic state. If you've chosen to heal, to rise from your own ashes, my love and my presence will amplify that and help you to rise. But here's the thing, it is always only what you choose. So when the person you love has chosen to remain in cycles of, whatever it is, uh, have they chosen healing? Or have they chosen to kind of just like um, convince themselves of reasons as to why it's everyone else? Ugh, that's hard. Oh, Michael had me write something down. I was having conversation with him, and totally like I totally have this thought, and he goes, "Write that down. Write that down." um, what I believe and what I know are often two different things. Oh, the gravity of that statement. What I believe and what I know are often two different things. Because I want to believe certain people should be in my life forever. I want to believe certain people are intrinsically good people and it's not going to be a bad thing and it's not this and it's not that. It's not toxic. I love them. Everyone has goodness in them. Like, literally, that's how I see it. Everyone has so much goodness in them, so much potentiality. In years where people like did me so dirty for no effing reason other than because I gave them the ability to. Um, it was this thing of, some of my people who I interact with privately, they were getting super frustrated with me, and I don't blame them. They're like, "Dang it, Emmy!" For real, "Dang it, Emmy! Do something!" And I was like, do what? They're they're hurting. They're this. They're that. I mean, these people didn't even have to come up with excuses. I was making up the excuses for them. I really, truly was. I was making up all these excuses for them. No, they're just confused. No, I must have done something to make them feel less than. I must have this. I must have that. Uh-huh. Someone get a cup of water and just throw it at my face. Wake me up. Wake me up from the BS that I tell myself. And that's what it was. I needed to be shook awake from this fairy tale I was living of, my love can heal you. No, it cannot. It cannot. My love can support you in your decision to heal yourself. That's it. My love can support you in your decision to heal yourself. It's not this thing of like, I can heal you, I can save you from your own decisions, I can this, I can that. I can't do any of that. I don't have the authority to dictate your life to you. And people couldn't understand why I continued to stay around those who were so hurtful and harmful to me, either privately or publicly. Like, looking back now, I recognize what I believed and what I knew were two different things. I believed no one would hurt me in that way intentionally. It has to have been a mistake. It has to have been a misunderstanding. It has to have been anything and everything except what I know. And what I know is the reality of it. It's what I'm experiencing. My knowing is based in my experiences, and my experiences are based in what you show me with your actions. Repeatedly, I had been shown these specific types of behaviors, specific phrases, specific mindsets. And I really truly lied to myself when I said, "You're being so mean. Don't be mean to people. Give them a chance to prove you wrong." Because that's the thing. I wasn't making some ridiculous assumption. It was absolutely deeply rooted in my elevated intuitive sense. That intuitive sense does not mean I'm better than someone. It means I'm so heavily protected by my own soul. By my own soul. Like, baby boo, we don't gotta hurt that way. Don't choose that. That's gonna hurt you. And here I am, extremely, extremely just headstrong, insistent. I'm gonna love everyone into fullness. Honey, you're just looking for an excuse to further deplete yourself. That's one of the greatest gifts that I received from the people who had been hurtful and harmful to me at some point. They gifted me with the opportunity to recognize certain types of frequency signatures. They're here for a reason, to help me learn something that I refuse to learn through my own intuitive guidance. So if I'm not going to learn it through my intuitive guidance, I'm going to learn it in real life. To date, when I have felt this way about an individual, I have not been wrong. As much as that breaks my heart. Don't cry, girlfriend. Don't. It makes me want to cry for real. It makes me want to cry because these are people who, they see me as something I'm not, which is what? A threat to their value. I'm not a threat to you. You have a value that I'll never have. You have a purpose that I'll never have. How could I be a threat to you? I'm not you. You're not me. You can never be me. I can never be you. We're both intrinsically valuable. That's why we exist. We're necessary. And it really breaks my heart when people behave in that manner. Why? Because they're hurting me? No, because they're wasting so much energy on something, someone that's really inconsequential to their rise. I don't have to exist for you to rise. There's no competition. There really isn't. And it's not because I'm better than you. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's not for lack of confidence or value of myself. I don't say these things to sound humble. I say it because it's the reality. There's no competition between us. Why? We each serve a different purpose. We're here for different reasons. So how could it ever be a competition? Why can't it be a co-creation where we co-create the type of environment that supports us both? Why? Because we're taught, we're programmed. You are my enemy. I have no enemies. I mean, what about the people who don't like you? That's a problem they have with themselves. I represent something that they can't address within themselves. It's an external projection of an internal circumstance that they're having. It's okay. I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough to walk away from nonsense drama. And the most powerful part, I'm strong enough to walk away when I don't feel strong enough to stick around too. At the end of the day, whatever you decide for yourself is what you needed. Whether you stay, whether you go, make a decision. Make a decision, stick with it. Ride it through, see how it plays out. See how yourself, your soul goes through the motions to heal you, to bring an awareness to you within you, you know? See, guidance is in reverse. Why? Guidance that's in reverse because y'all, you're here because we vibe. Why do we vibe? Because we stubborn AF. That's why. We stubborn AF. Cheers. Salud. Sake bomb. No. Where did that come from? I don't know. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh, Elijah. That right there. Programmed to fit in a crabs in a bucket system. Y'all, if you've never been to an Asian grocery store, you got to go at least once in your life. You have to go at least once in your life. That's one of the memories that are so prominent from my childhood. The frequent grocery runs to the Asian store. Why does it stick out? It sticks out because of the fact that I would mess with all the animals at the grocery store. You know, it was this thing of looking at all the live fish in the fish tank. And then the turtles, they sell live turtles not for pets, not for pets, for food. One time my mother took my son and my nephew who are at the same age, they're toddlers, she took them to the Asian store. And my son, highly empathic, just amazing person, he asked his grandma to help him rescue a turtle. So she's like, you better call your mom and make sure. So he calls me and he's like, almost in tears. And I'm like, okay, baby, only one turtle, okay? Daddy's going to kill us if you bring home more than one turtle. One, just one. So, we get off the phone because I wasn't with them. He comes home. He looked like he'd been crying. I was like, where's your turtle? What happened? And then my mom's like, don't ask. Don't ask. I'm like, what happened? And my son tells me the turtle he was going to rescue, he picked it. And then they went to go chop it up. And he's like, no. And then the worker said, we can't sell it to you like that. We have to chop it up before we sell it to you. And so he cried. But anyways, going back to the crabs in a bucket programming, one of the memories that I used to have as a child, I would mess with the crabs that were in the box. They're like in this box. They're live crabs and they're all stacked in there. They're just tossed in the box. And they would pinch each other. They would pinch each other. I mean, is that accurate or what? Like there were times I distinctly remember where the crab at the very top, its pincher was holding the entire arm of another crab. I mean, that's like the perfect analogy for society. We think we're each other's competition. In reality, we're just being consumed by something unseen, something unrecognized. I mean, oh my goodness. We need to follow this guidance that we're being given. It takes us out of this place of competition, comparison and competition, and directly delivers us into a place of co-creation. Co-creation. That's so powerful to be able to co-create. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. That's powerful. It's powerful. Oh, shoot. High priest, high priestess responsibility. You are responsible for the type of life you have. You consciously cultivate this life. Oh, I'm learning this lesson right now. I had to make a difficult decision. I woke up this morning knowing a difficult decision had to be made. I had already made up my mind, but then I decided to kind of sit with it and think a little bit more like, do I really have to? And the conversations that I had within myself, between myself and my soul, had a lot to do with, well, do you want to experience something again? Do you need to learn it firsthand? Or can you simply accept the guidance that your soul is already giving you? And I was just like, there's the option. Listen to my soul. It's difficult. I stand the potentiality of hurting someone's feelings making this decision. But there's also still that potentiality of remaining connected privately, you know, just maintaining that privately, or being difficult, not listening to my higher self, refusing to listen to the guidance, let it play out, ride it all the way through. I will probably lose that friendship. I'll probably lose that friendship, and it's going to crash and burn bad. So what do I do? The responsible thing. Explain, hey, I've been guided by my soul to make a decision. Um, I hope we can be friends still. I hope you understand, and I hope that we can remain friends. And just put that trust in myself where if we don't remain friends, then I'll know why the guidance was given to me. If we do remain friends, then I'll be grateful for that guidance because I was able to maintain a friendship by following the guidance. I'm getting to a point in my journey where no matter what, I'm following the guidance. If it's difficult, I'm going to follow it and have a difficult time processing. If it's easy, I'm going to follow it and have no problem following it. I no longer have the option of not following. I don't want to hurt in that way anymore because I realize that way is optional. It's not necessary. The only reason I had to hurt in that way before was so I could now understand why it's so important to take responsibility for the intuitive guidance that I'm being given by soul and how I choose to implement or not that guidance in my life. Sometimes we don't understand things. Sometimes we don't understand things. And, uh, you know, I look back at my relationships. The last boyfriend I had right before my husband, that's the only person that that's the only person that's ever broken up with me. Like, hello, how dare you? No, I'm just kidding with the how dare you. No, I was so freaking butthurt. Like, ew, I didn't even do anything. Anyways, so that was the only person that's ever broken up with me, and that's the only person where I actually considered, like, what if I beg this person? What if I beg you? And then I didn't, but I actually considered that for a moment, and then I was like, no, whatever. You don't want me around, I won't be around. Whatever. And here's the thing. My intuitive guidance told me, like, no, leave that alone. Leave that alone. It was very heart-wrenching to experience that. That was the first time I've ever had my teeny tiny little heart broken. Like, what? You're really breaking up with me? Oh my God, is that what this feels like? But then here's the thing. Had I not chosen to listen to my soul when it was like, no, leave that alone. Don't play that game. I would not have given my husband the time of day. I mean, look what I would have missed out on. I mean, I know you guys don't know, the full picture of how amazing my relationship is. You guys just get little snippets here and there. But even in those little snippets, you could see the value of what we've created together. And taking it even further, because I met him about a year and a half before we met again in different circumstances, and then began dating. So the very first time I met him, he was in a relationship that was ending. I was in a relationship that was ending. We were both still in relationships. Had I pursued him, because I was already very much drawn to him, like very much drawn to him. Had I pursued him then, you know what would have happened? It would have prolonged the agony of him being in that previous relationship that he was currently in. My higher self was like, ooh, hey. And then that was it. And I don't pursue people who are in relationships anyways. That's just like, no, I'm good. You know? So that was the thing. That was the guidance. Like, no, maintain your integrity, which I did. And everything played out the way it was meant to. Yes, it was difficult for that year where we didn't know each other. And then we've gone through quite a bit in our relationship. We've been together for over 20 years. And it's this thing of, was it worth it? Absolutely. Is there anything you'd change? Hell no. No, not at all. Nope. No. Listening to that guidance and consciously cultivating your space is so important. You have to pay attention to what your options are. You have to pay attention to what your life is presenting you. What is your life presenting you? What is it? Your future, not just the potentialities, but the way in which you will reach those potentialities. These cycles are coming to an end. It's time for you to create new cycles with maybe new people, or I don't even like cycles. I'm going to tell you that. It's like the Truman Show for some of us. It's just the same stuff. Oh, no, not Truman Show. Groundhog's Day. Where it's just nonstop, same thing over and over and over. And it's the same thing over and over and over. What we have to recognize is this. What we have to recognize is this, okay? I got distracted. I don't know. Oh, I had a message about withdrawals. Withdrawal limits. Oof. Mm-hmm. Oof. See, the notification is not being overdrawn. It's about being mindful of how many withdrawals you've made. I use a specific account for all my cryptocurrency transactions. And I use that account because it intentionally has a limit, not in the amount, but in the frequency of transactions. The frequency of withdrawals, transfers, whatever it is. So the account is not overdrawn, but I'm reaching my limit of withdrawals. Are you reaching your limit of withdrawals? Do you know how you become spiritually bankrupt? I'll tell you how. If you continue to make withdrawals without making the appropriate amount of deposits, you become spiritually bankrupt. When you continue to give, each time you give, that is a withdrawal. Are you allowing yourself to receive? Have you made the decision to allow yourself to receive? Because if you haven't, you're reaching that withdrawal limit. You're working up to it. So what do you need to do? Balance your life out. Remove those cycles that you've been participating in that have caused you to be at risk of reaching your limits, be at risk of being overdrawn altogether. Okay. Things are going to begin calming down, and they're going to calm down as you begin really seriously considering the things you need to consider. You have to make sure you pay attention to the very things that your soul is telling you to pay attention to. Remember, the whole topic today is sometimes the scariest option is the best choice. What are you scared of considering? What are you scared of considering? Forward movement, growth. It's uncomfortable to grow. You ever heard of growing pains? Sometimes when you grow so quickly, your bones start to hurt. I don't remember ever having growing pains. Do you guys remember having growing pains as a kid? I don't think I ever had growing pains because I never grew that much. A little bit of small person humor. So let me stop. You know, winter. So again, this harkens back to what happened this winter. The pain that you've experienced through winter and all of this, like, what happened to you? What happened to you? Do you even know? What upset you? What disappointed you this winter? Did you take the time to assess where this pain is rooted? You know? Did you take time to figure out, like, what is it? What happened to me? What did I live through? What did I survive? What did I this? What did I that? Like, begin asking these difficult questions so you can begin receiving the profound answers. Okay? It has to do with something that happened during this winter. There was some sort of struggle, some sort of pain, some sort of decision that, oh, that's when it was solidified. Oh, shoot. Oh, sucky now. So for some of you, whatever happened this winter, you decided something very, very serious. Very, very serious. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Okay, masculine. It has to do with a masculine energy. Hold on. I need some water. I need to rinse out the salt from my attitude. I had to drink a lot. It was a lot of salt coming up. Let me just... I'm reminding myself to behave myself today. So this masculine energy masculine energy with the whole winter thing, all of that, whatever that is, Okay. Um, so something happened, right? Mm-hmm. I had to spray myself yet again like a naughty kitty. Whew. Good God. Whew. All right. You back in control? Yes. You sure? Not really. Girlfriend, are you back in control? Michael, take the wheel. I'm swerving. Okay, I'm not swerving. I'm a damn good driver. I know how to drift. Y'all think I'm joking? I know how to drift. All I need is an e-brake. I'm just saying. Okay. I know how to drive stick and I know how to drift. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's right. I'm in control again. Okay, card number air. Imagination. I think someone's having these conversations with you in their head. Not telepathic communication. I'm talking about they're practicing what's going to be said. Okay. Y'all look away. I need to slap myself real quick. Look away. Cover your eyes. Children, please cover your eyes. I just stop it. Behave yourself. I had to slap myself for a second. 2 times. 3. 4, 5. I'm just saying 5 is the number of change. I had to slap myself 5 times. Change your attitude, change your approach. Ooh, that's a good one. Change your attitude, change your approach. Ah! That's a good one, for real. Change your attitude, change your approach. Mm. I'm going to tattoo that on my fingers. Change your attitude, change your approach. So when I slap myself, it's a reminder. Change your attitude, change your approach. There's something going on that maybe you don't want to deal with. Michael goes, maybe this reading is not for me, Michaela. It's not for me. I'm just saying. Maybe slightly, I don't know. So now you or someone is really taking into consideration, excuse me, you or your cross watcher is taking into consideration messages from your ancestors. You're remembering things that were said maybe in dreams long ago, right? You're remembering something, which is good. Listen to your ancestors. This card gives me a sense that someone has secured a new home for themselves. Maybe within themselves, maybe like literal, they moved. But it's a quaint little place, and getting yourself situated, getting yourself stable. Maria, she says, slap a few more times, maybe something else comes to your mind. That one actually stung. Okay, it even made my big toe hurt. Okay, there's nothing that you have to cleanse from yourself. That card is profound. That was very sobering because of the fact that it reminds me of the conversation that I had with my girlfriend on the Soul Sanctuary podcast, the most recent one. And it's this thing of like, I totally, still was judging myself and holding myself to a standard that does not even apply to me. This concept of, I never figured out how to ground myself. I'm not grounded. And my girlfriend was totally like, whoa, 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 wait. Yeah, no, she got intense. Like that was quite possibly the most intense I've ever experienced her. I'm not even joking. I was like, did I say something bad? I did. I did because she in the most loving way possible, she helped me to understand that I was holding myself to a standard that didn't apply to me. I don't ground in the traditional sense, the traditional spiritual sense of grounding, but I am grounded in this life. I'm very stable within my life. I might experience emotional fluctuations, but I'm grounded in my life. And she had even repeatedly mentioned, shared, that she admires how hyper fixated I can become to achieve something. Like my focus, because y'all, that ADHD is some other thing. It's one hell of a drug. I'm just saying. So, with ADHD, in case you guys are not aware, and I'm not a doctor, so this is not some sort of clinical type of explanation. What I've recognized, what I've noticed, people with ADHD, we're either all over the place or we're hyperfixated. Like if you want to get away with, the fluffery, just leave me be. I will remain all over the place. I won't pay attention to anything, you know? But the moment you trigger me, now I'm hyperfixated. You're not getting your way. You're just not getting your way. You're not going to get your way because I'm going to devise some sort of solution that will not give you access on either side of me, beneath me, above me, or through me. That's how it's going to go. So, because now I'm paying attention. And when I pay attention, I mean, just like many of you, we were built for war. I think many of us who came into this lifetime, this is the lifetime we're given the opportunity to really, really clear out that karmic load, to clear the miasmic distortions that have given rise to so many karmic connections that have to be rebalanced. So many. And that we can talk about that further in the next Soul Sanctuary podcast. This concept of previous lives, karmic connections, how it affects your life now, maybe even how to kind of process it, deal with it, navigate. So many of us struggle with that karmic load, that karmic connection. I feel like for many of the twin flames, let's circle it all the way back around to the twin flame stuff. For many of the twin flames that have come into this life together, they've incarnated together at the same in the same life. They don't always do that. It's to address the karmic load that's been accrued through so many lifetimes of very intense, very profound collective correction work. Collective correction work. And it's difficult. That's why those twins suffer and struggle. That's why so many are not in union. Why? This is my personal opinion. The ones in union, they're working on working together in real life, right? Because they've had separation for quite a few lifetimes. They've worked individually for quite a few lifetimes. This is a lifetime where, they're really going to work together to achieve things, right? The other types of twin connections, and this is my observation, they have worked together through so many lifetimes, and it's created so much distortion, so much painful distortion, that this is a lifetime that the one who always gets the short end of the stick, because oftentimes there's one that the short end of the stick. Um, this is a lifetime where they're going to be given the opportunity to decide, like, do I want to be with you or do I not? No, you're not going to tell me what to do this life. You know, I had a girlfriend of mine. She had messaged me privately. She's in the middle of a divorce, and she mentions to me that there's quite a few other people that she personally knows who have been in long-term relationships, marriages, you know, whatever it is, and they're in the process of separating this year as well. And it kind of like blew her mind. She asked me if I could talk about it in one of the live streams. Yeah, because the ones who have been in connections that it was obligatory, it was karmic, it was unbalanced, where they had to sacrifice themselves, their sense of self-worth, self-love, compassion for self, where they had to cater to someone else in order to make it work. Those are being corrected. This is a period within our human history that we're being given the opportunity to completely clear the board, to completely clear that karmic ledger board. That's profound. Why do you think this lifetime is so difficult for so many people? Why do you think all of these events are happening across the world? The entire globe is experiencing a trauma-induced secretion. As we reach higher levels of dimensional consciousness, we reach higher capabilities of processing what we are witnessing. But you have to be willing to allow yourself to witness, to observe. Neutral observation is necessary. If you're not willing to witness what you are living through, what people around you are living through, I mean, that's on you. You don't have to, but you're also not going to grow to the degree that you have the potential to grow. Do you want to grow or do you want to remain the same? That quote, oh my God. I love that quote by Craig, I think Rippin or something. Hold on, let me read it to you guys. I'll read it to you guys. Don't worry. Hold on. Craig Crippen. Yes, Craig Crippen. Evolve or remain. You're being presented with a choice. Evolve or remain. If you choose to remain unchanged, you will be presented with the same challenges, the same routine, the same storms, the same situations, until you learn from them, until you love yourself enough to say no more, until you choose change. If you choose to evolve, you will connect with the strength within you. You will explore what lies outside of the comfort zone. You will awaken to love. You will become. You will be. You have everything you need. Choose to evolve. Choose love. Love for self is so important. So important. So, so, so important. It's the most important form of love you could ever have in this lifetime. Really allow yourself to hear what I'm about to say. The people who cross your path and fall in love with you will either serve as mirrors. They will show you how to love yourself. They will show you the ways in which you don't love yourself. And then there are other people who will cross your path to show you all the ways in which you are not allowing that love to circulate within you and outside of you. Now, I have a very, very distinct opinion. Whatever I send out will always find its way home to me. Whether that's love, whether that's maliciousness, it will always, at some point within this lifetime, find its way back home to me. I don't want to be collecting toxic flowers that will just give me rashes and illness. So I'm not going to sow those seeds. I'm not going to spread seeds like that. No, I'm good. I will only ever choose to release what is good, what will help heal me. Love. And here's the thing. If I give you 5 seeds of love, I don't expect you to pay for those 5 seeds. I just don't. But that does not mean somewhere down the path, if someone approaches me and presents me with 5 seeds as a gift, for what? I just want to. I must allow myself to receive that. Whatever you send out does not have to be returned by the person you gave it to. Do you know how much love, support, empowerment I've given out in the past few years? Especially on Facebook. Do you know how many of those people who received that from me privately, do you know how many of them have given it back to me? Pretty much none. Does that mean you should feel sorry for me? No. Because you know what happened? When I left that toxic pool, that mindset that told me I did not deserve to receive, I then entered the ocean, cleansed myself of sins against the self, and created a community of so many people who so willingly love and support me with no strings attached. You guys show up day in and day out. You guys accept me as I am. You encourage me. Times where I feel broken, you hold me up. You guys are just amazing. I did not receive back what I gave so freely years ago from the people I gave it to. Instead, as one by one they exited my life because I had nothing left I was willing to give, space was created, and my lack of fear of losing these people who simply took up space, it created space for an amplified sense of compassion for self, love for self, acceptance that I am worthy of being loved without me having to buy it. Woo. Those of you who know me from Facebook, you know how much I give. Those of you who strictly know me from YouTube, you don't have any idea. You kind of do, but not to the gravity that people witnessed while I was still strictly on Facebook. Does that mean I'm a different person? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because I'm no longer going to just blindly give to make myself feel like, well, I've purchased my little tiny place against the wall in the back in the corner. I promise I won't say anything and make people mad. I paid for my seat. Can I sit down? Yeah, I'm not that girl anymore. But no, I haven't changed in my willingness to give. Now I just have learned to discern. Do you need help? And if you actually do need help, am I supposed to be the one to help you? Or do I need to kind of just take a step back and allow the proper soul to step forward? Because that's something that the two of you had agreed upon, right? So the parts of me that changed were the parts of me that wouldn't protect myself. The parts of me that haven't changed are the most beautiful parts of me that make me who I am. I am a giver. I am a lover. Oh, Kathy. She says, "I've been a friend follower for 4 years. You've given so much to others publicly and privately." I love you too. And no, you guys, I don't keep a ledger board of what I've given, amounts to who, how many people. I really don't care how many people. I don't. It's this thing of, if you can still count how many people you've given to, you haven't given enough. So kindly shut the F up and sit the F down, figure out how to give more. I literally, like, people still to this day, here and there, they'll reach out after, however many years there's been silence just because I don't talk much. And they'll be like, I still remember when you did this, this, and this for me, or gave me this, or this and that. And I did. Yes. Oh, uh, I'm not holding that over your head. Stop saying thank you. I'm sure you already said thank you before. Just like, forget about it. Just, are you happy now? Are you stable now? That's my concern. Are you stable? Are you happy? Is everything good? Yeah, everything is good. Beautiful. That's all I want to hear. That's all I need to know. That I was able to help during a period where really you truly needed it. And in my presence, helping to stabilize you, you were able then to empower yourself and create something even more beautiful for yourself in my absence. Like, yes, I don't need credit for that. Like, are you kidding me? It's your life. Give yourself credit. Do you know how difficult it is for an empath, especially Pisceans, to allow themselves to receive? I mean, do you know how much you honor me by allowing me to give, to be present, to hold space with you, to carry you for even just a few steps, knowing that you're a person who would die before you admit you need help? Wow. And you're here freely allowing me. That shows a level of trust that I need to make sure I always, 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 always carry myself with a level of integrity that makes me worthy of that depth of trust that you gift me so freely. So in that, I would say we're even. I would say we're even because you've given me something that you haven't given anyone else. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're even. There's no like ledger board where you still owe me something. Make a decision. Allow yourself to choose what is right for you, even if it's the scariest option. It's probably the option that's the best for you, anyways. We tend to want to stay in places of security and safety, and, you know, hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes? Yes? Sorry. My connectivity cut out. I got a little bit emotional. Mhm. That's me drinking the foam. Okay. Oh, what do you feel? What do you feel? Do you feel scared? My life has shown me firsthand the very thing I'm afraid of is the very thing I need. Boom. The very thing I'm afraid of is the very thing I need. Why am I afraid of it? Because it takes me to a place that's not comfortable. Why is that place not comfortable? Because it's a place that makes me, helps me, supports me in loving myself that much more. Ooh. Damn. Damn. That's what I learned. That's totally what I learned. That the reason I don't want to go there, the reason I struggle so badly with, because it gives me everything that I still kind of struggle with believing that I deserve. The love, the support, like, mm. Here come old flat top. He come grooving up slowly. Okay. Card number 23, defend to the end, the worthwhile. I swear. I swear. If you don't start defending yourself, let me not. I was going to say, I'm going to shove my whole foot all the way up your sphincter to my knee, okay? And tickle your tonsils with my toes. You're not here to be trampled. You are not here to be the sacrificial lamb. You are not here to serve as a sacrifice to the gods of society. You are here as a divine spark of the creation consciousness. You're here to explore yourself and your life. I say it again. If you think that you need to find a path, the path back home, yeah, that's well trodden, you know? It's nice and smooth. You've walked back home to yourself many, many times to hide away, to rest, to have quiet. The path to your potential is a wilderness. I don't care what anyone else says. It's a wilderness. I'm fully exiting the mindset that we all have to go in the same place. No, make your own path. Make your own path. Walk behind me for a little bit so that you can gain some confidence in what you're doing. Okay? That's fine. But to think that you're going to follow me, biatch. Biatch. Yo, booty better walk beside me as my equal. I am not leading us anywhere. I don't think so. You better walk beside me as that's one of the things in real life. Like, I cannot stand that. If we're walking, can you walk beside me? Please? Don't walk like a step or two behind me. I have this habit of like, if you're gonna do that, it's so rude. I'm rude. I'll just randomly stop walking just so you can run into me. To make you feel uncomfortable. Which is so rude, but you know, it's so necessary. Why the F do you want to be behind me? Come on now. Come on now. Why? Why can't you just walk beside me as my equal? Because that's how I see you. I was telling someone recently, like, I am so proud of what we have built together on YouTube. A community of people who are equals, and we recognize ourselves as equals. It's oh, I don't even know how to explain it. And I came to the realization one day, I think it was Kitty Claw who said it. There was someone in the comments who was just obnoxious. Obnoxious. I don't remember what they were being obnoxious about, but they were obnoxious. And I addressed them, and I seen the comment, I want to say it was Kitty Claw. And she's like, and by the way, there's no followers here. We're all equals. I'm sorry for people who are listening to the podcast. I probably should have given a disclaimer first. You should never listen to me at full volume. I can't properly regulate my decibel levels, and I make weird sounds, and I can't stop it. It's okay. I hope your ears are okay. But yes, it was this thing of like, and I didn't even encourage any of that. I happened to see it, and I was like, boom, hell yes, hell yes. You know? So yeah, that's, I think outside of my children and my husband to date, that's like my crowning glory. To know that there are people who exist who really, truly Do 100% see, believe, and accept the role of being my equal. Not my equal, like, I'm strong too, but no, like, no, we stand together. Like, for real, we walk beside each other. Mm, I love it. I love it. I love you guys so much. Let me keep reading. Card number 11, diving for light. So, the surface of your ocean has been polluted. You haven't set enough parameters for the people in your life, and they have somehow misconstrued what you said to them or what you have implied. And the thing that I'm getting is you let them think that it's no big deal to throw their garbage into your water. So many people serve as a sanctuary for others. I know I'm not the only one. Okay. So many people serve as a sanctuary for other people. And just because someone serves as a sanctuary for you does not mean you have permission to use them as a dumping ground. You can't. You cannot do that. And you can't allow other people to do that to you. And it's this sense that you've allowed other people to do that to you so regularly that now the surface of your ocean, it's become polluted. So now you have to dive deep to find the purest of your light. Matthew says, there is no home or safe past place. So forward is all there is. I do good some days and some I fall down because the struggle never ends. Don't know or hope that it ever will. So forward isn't all there is, Matthew. Forward, up, down, left, right, semi-left, semi-right, below, above, backwards, U-turn, three-point turn. Why limit yourself to forward? That comes from a place of fear, a fear of revisiting what happened in the past. But here's the thing. The past is what contains your shadow. Your shadow is contained in the past. These are the things that you've lived through, the places of power that exist within you. Your fear of entering into the shadow realm is your fear of retrieving the power you've already cultivated. So my personal stance, I will travel wherever the F I want to. Forwards, backwards, side to side. I will cha-cha in place. I will do the Macarena if I want. I'm just saying. There is no limit to the direction that I will go. And if I have to revisit something, I would rather revisit it in my mind and my heart than have that same situation play out in my life again with different people, because F that, I'm not doing that again. I refuse. I do not give my consent to be dragged right back into the same social situation I already experienced years ago. I am so good off that. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Now, it took me going through the same situations multiple times to come to that conclusion. What might be accurate and appropriate for me might not be for someone else. So, this is just a difference in opinion, not me actually telling Matthew that he's wrong. Is he right? Is he wrong? Who knows? Am I right? Am I wrong? Who knows? You know? Like, mm-mm. Nope. Nope. See, oh, and this is another powerful type of sentiment. I'm the ball in the pinball machine moving wherever I'm supposed to be going. But see, who are the paddles and who's the one pressing the button to paddle you? Maybe Queen of Hearts, Maybe it's time for you to begin recognizing you are not merely the ball, you are not merely the paddle, you are not merely the pinball machine. You are the hand of creation, controlling without having actual control. Full accountability, full creative accountability. That's what we need at this point. See, spirals of manifestation. Spirals of manifestation. Everything comes from a singular seed of thought. And from that come the spirals that expand and become placed into that manifest template. Card number 12, every journey starts with a single step. You know, that first step is actually the fall. Every journey starts with a single step. That first step is that realization that you're about to fall. You know, you've now stumbled and you're needing to take that next step to keep yourself from fully falling. See, the reason we completely fall is because our higher self, our intuitive sense, is telling us, like, put your other foot forward. And you're like, no, but I'm scared. I don't want to move it. So then now you're going to fall flat on your face, right? So my kids, they speak in a very advanced manner. They don't speak like children their age. They just don't. They never have. None of them do. I'm talking to my youngest one, my littlest, and he's scared to ride a bike, right? He's never fallen from a bike, but he was scared to even sit on it, even with training wheels, and just stand with his butt on the bike. And you know, it's kind of like, dude, you're not riding it. I want you to get comfortable and just sit on it. You know, you're not going to fall over. Your feet are down. And he kept getting frustrated, and he felt very unsupported because I kept trying to encourage him. So finally I left it alone. I was just like, okay, you know, whenever you're ready, you'll do it when you're ready. Several weeks go by and we're outside, everyone's riding their bike. He's on his little Razor scooter. And he says to me, Mommy, in his sweet little voice, Mommy, it takes me a long time to trust things. I don't trust the bike. And I said, that's okay. You don't have to trust it. You don't have to force yourself. But see, here's the thing. You're never going to trust it if you don't give yourself opportunities, small opportunities, a little bit here, a little bit there, to become comfortable with the presence of the bike and the way it will support you. Just so you don't need me to ride it. No, that was never the thing. I didn't want you to feel forced into riding it. I just wanted you to sit on it, to be comfortable with it. And then he said, but it takes me a long time to trust things. I have to watch it for a while first. And I said, that's right. That's what you should do. You should watch it for a while first. How about you watch it with you on top of it and your feet firmly on the ground so that you can understand it's not going to do anything without your permission. Really, though, what does a bike do? Nothing without your permission. You have to consciously choose to pedal for it to move. And you have to ignore the need to rebalance for you to fall. Those are decisions you're making. Those are all decisions you're making. He still didn't get on the bike that day, but the fact that I validated, you don't have to blindly trust things just because someone else told you to trust it. But you can't cripple yourself either just because you need a moment to observe so that you can decide if you're going to trust something. How does this apply to your life? You know, what have you been needing to trust, but you don't even want to sit on it to get a feel for it? You have to at least get a feel for things before you can actually accurately decide how this will fit or not fit into your life. Some things are meant to fit, other things are not. That's just how I see life. Okay. Card number 13, power of attraction. So I assume for some, this has to do with that karmic connection, that karmic load between counterparts. Okay. Now, karma does not intrinsically mean something bad or evil or any of that. Karma is just karma. It's frozen light code. It's a miasmic distortion because the lesson was paused and became frozen. And that's it. Sometimes all we really need is for that code to thaw. The warmth between two people is enough to thaw that miasmic code, that frozen light code. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's all we needed from the twins. Um, an opportunity to thaw that frozen code, to just thaw it out, to allow the warmth between two people. It doesn't have to be hot and heavy. It doesn't have to be this searing fire of, passion. No, just a warmth, a camaraderie, a support, a friendship, a love that transcends any type of human perception of what love is. Celestial love is not like human love. You hurt your own feelings when you try and turn celestial love into something human. It's not meant to be. It's just not. Mm. I uploaded this video on that twin flame journey. It's a short video. I'll upload it here on YouTube as well. It's a clip from one of my live streams, recent live streams, talking about if you love the flower, allow it to be entrusted in the hands of a gardener. If you don't know how to garden, if you don't know how, just stop. Stop. You don't have to prove anything. There are plenty of people who are connoisseurs of something in particular, but they don't know how to make it. They understand the value of it, right? Like wine connoisseurs, they understand the intricacies of the wine and blooming. I don't know caca about wine. I really don't. I can't even drink wine. Stella Rosa Black, that one is yummy. It's kind of like a fake wine that gets me drunk after 2 sips. I'm good. I'm good. I don't even need Stella Rosa. Yeah, and that's me desensitized. Before I desensitized myself, smelling the vapors off of a wine cooler gets me tipsy. I'm out of coffee. I'm just saying, you can be a wine connoisseur and not know how to make the wine. Do you have to know how? Or do you just have to allow yourself? Do you just have to allow yourself to understand and appreciate, value the quality of what it is? You can be someone's twin and not be in a sexual connection with them. That's not like a necessary component. See, you're obligating someone else out of a sense of celestial titles. Celestials don't fornicate. Humans do. Celestials don't own each other either. Humans do. Yeah. When people ask me and they wonder, how did you cultivate that type of love you have with your husband? Excuse me, it's a celestial love. I don't own him. He doesn't own me. We choose to travel through this life together. Should he choose to have a different journey, I respect that. I accept that. My feelings will probably be hurt. Yeah, of course. But should he make that decision, I respect that. Just please communicate it with me, you know? That's a celestial form of love. We want to take something that's so divine and celestial and turn it into this sense of obligatory fornication. I don't know. I don't know. Matthew says, I feel like I have to prove something to myself that I can be whole and happy sometimes. Too much, too fast. Well, it's not too much, too fast as long as you can also prove to yourself you can be whole and unhappy sometimes. Because you can be fractured and happy. These are all varying degrees of existence, perception. I'm always whole, but I'm not always happy. And the times where I'm not happy does not mean I'm not whole. They're not exclusive. They're just not. I can be whole and sad, whole and happy, whole and bored AF, whole and salty, whole and just utterly amused. This depends. Depends on the day and depends who's with me. It depends, really. Inspiration upside down. I'm wondering if we have allowed someone who should not inspire us to inspire us. I'm wondering, maybe this is an individual who has not taken the time to really assess, like really, really assess um, their life, the lessons within their life. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if this is a person who has rushed to exit out of a place of pain. It could be romantic, it could be a friendship, it could be a work partnership, but like this rush to exit that place of pain. And, you know, ugh, and it makes me cringe, not because of anything about any of you, but because, when my mom passed away, that's what I did. I tried to rush myself out of that place of pain and it made me angry. I'm just barely, it's like what, been 2 years already? I'm just barely exiting out of that place of like wrathful rage. Damn. I felt the venom come out when I said that. I felt like a little gurgly vomit come out my chest. Yeah, I mean, grief that's unrecognized quickly spirals into anger and rage. It does. It just really, really does. I had a friend who, maybe a month after, I don't know, it was within 6 months of my mom passing. Um, I know she loves me. I don't know if she still does, but I know she did at that point, and she commented on one of my posts, "Why are you so angry?" So I blocked her. I wasn't ready or willing to hear. I just wasn't. I was angry and I didn't want to hear it. And then maybe like a week later, a really good friend of mine, and I rationalized when I blocked this person, I rationalized, I barely even talked to you. How dare you? How dare you try and like condemn me because I'm not happy go lucky? My mother just died. That was the rationalization I had. Um, was it valid? I don't know. I'm really good at intellectualizing things. If I don't want to comply, I find a way. I'll find a way to intellectualize my lack of compliance and justify it. That's just how I am. And so that's what I did with her. And then, like, I want to say maybe a week later, few days, a really good friend of mine, she had said to me privately, uh, you might need to take some time away from the public view, like it's made you angry. And I was able to receive that. And then when I heard that from this friend of mine that I really value, I really trust, um, there was no offensiveness to it. I didn't receive it in an offended manner. It was just like, oh my gosh, you're right. Why did I get offended when what's her name said that to me? Because I wasn't ready to receive it. It triggered my cognitive dissonance. It triggered me. I didn't want to see the way I was choosing to live my life. And plus, it was public. I was so raw. I didn't want to be criticized publicly. How do you coddle that? You can't. You can't. You can't. Not if you really love someone. And so, what did I learn? I learned that I was afraid to choose grief, to allow myself to grieve. It's impossible. I couldn't. Because if I did that, this is the scariest part. If I did that, if I allowed myself to grieve, what would happen? This carefully constructed wall of Legos that I use to compartmentalize everything, it was going to be knocked down. I could no longer pretend that I was just too busy to call my mom or FaceTime her. I would have to actually face the fact that, yeah, no, she's transitioned. She's no longer in body. Yeah. And I couldn't. No, I could. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. It stems back to the fear of controlling and losing control. I was afraid to lose control, and I was afraid to be too controlling. So many different factors factored into that. First and foremost, the decision to bring her back to California, because I knew if I brought her back, she wouldn't have much longer. She would pass away not long after I brought her back. I knew that, but I respected her decision to go back. Brought her back. I didn't want to control that. I wanted her to have a say, so I brought her back. And then came this thing of, I visited her a week before she passed. And the day I got home, I took a red-eye flight back home. The day I got home, I didn't even nap. I didn't sleep for over 24 hours. I got home, I went on my laptop, and I went to go book another flight for the following week because I wanted to see her again. And I booked the flight, and then I canceled it. And I was like, no, it's too soon. I just saw her. Okay, I'll just cancel it, you know? It would have been the first flight in. The flight that I canceled. That was the day she died. I would have been there. I didn't make it in time. It takes me 18 hours, 18 to 20 hours to drive the distance back to California. I would have been there. Had I kept that flight, I would have been there. I would have touched ground the moment she had a cardiac event. I would have been there. Was I supposed to be there? as much work as I've done to release the need to control and to um, respect people's sovereign choice. Hmm. Pretty sure if I was there, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I would have interfered. Instead of all this work and all this growth that occurred in the years I was gone, working on developing my sense of self and accepting my soul's purpose, that all would have went down the drain. I would have been that little girl again, still needing her mom. And I would have violated her right to choose. So do I regret not flying in that morning? Do I regret canceling that flight? Hell yes, I do. Do I now understand and accept I was not meant to be there when she left? Yes. The scariest decision. I mean, when my brother called me that morning, I knew something was wrong because he never calls me. And when he said, if you're going to come, you need to come now, that created so much fear. Like, no, 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 no. It's only June. She has until September. That's what I was told. September. It's fine. We'll just drive there. Had I gotten another flight, had I bought a flight immediately, I still would have made it in time. I would have arrived in time. In time to what, though? Force my will upon her? The things you're most afraid to decide often are the things that are the best option. The most loving, the most compassionate, you know? I also had to honor my mom's health directive. I told them to enforce her DNR. Lucky for me, it was so chaotic when she finally had her final heart attack. Uh, they tried to resuscitate her anyways. I knew she was gone. I knew she was gone. I knew when she left before they called. I knew. So in some sense, even though I was not physically there, emotionally, energetically, I was. I was still right there, right beside her, because I felt as she was pulling away. And I remember texting my BFF, like, I feel her letting go. And in the middle of texting her, my kid said something, and I was like, what? And I put my phone in my lap, and nothing touched the screen. And when I looked down at the screen, a text that I did not write got sent. It was the word go. I was like, she's gone. And a few minutes later, I got a call from the hospital. I got a call. And I knew. We go through a lot of very difficult decisions day in and day out. The difficult ones are the ones that grow you the most. They carry the most potential for expansion of awareness. They do. They do. And what happened after she passed, after I finally went back home, I didn't want to live stream. I didn't want to be seen. I wanted the time and the space to shut down completely. She wouldn't let me. She would wake me up at the weirdest time. And because I can hear and I can see, I can communicate with those who have transitioned out of body. And she kept waking me up and just pestering me and pestering me and pestering me. And she would force me to live stream because she wouldn't stop until I actually live streamed. She would do all of this. She would do all of this, like, really annoying stuff. You know, she would just be so hypercritical in my ear, like, "Oh, you're just being lazy. You're just looking for excuses." Things that she would say and do in real life while she was still alive. And so I would live stream, and it was the most difficult thing to choose to do because it was kind of like, on one hand, it gave me an excuse to really just put my life and my grief on the back burner. And on the other hand, it was the very thing that kept me tethered to wanting to, well, not even wanting, to choosing to stay functional. Because I mean, needing to remain functional. If I didn't continue to live stream, I still wouldn't be back right now, 2 years later. That was going to take quite a few years to rebound from. If I allowed myself to not choose the thing that was the scariest for me at that time and continue to be publicly visible and process and function, I still would not be back yet. That type of shutdown would, knowing myself, that would probably take upwards of 5 years. 5 years to even recognize I had buried myself in a hole. It was a difficult decision, but it's been the most rewarding. Rewarding because I grew. Yes, I didn't process my grief for about 1.5 years. It took me 1.5 years. At the very least, 1.5 years to even accept to myself that she really had passed. But the amount of growth, the ripening of my understanding of myself and my purpose, was profound. Profound. So profound. I promise you, the things that you're the most afraid of are the things that carry the greatest promise of growth. Not just potential, it's an actual promise to grow you. Card number 6, shock of the new. Exiting that place that you're comfortable with, exiting the places that you know how to function. And you're comfortable because you're aware of how to function and how to navigate that. Those are the cycles that you've trapped yourself in. Allow yourself to exit that. It's scary. It is. Excuse me. The unknown is a scary thing. But if all you've known is pain, struggle, failure, what is so bad about the unknown? It then carries with it the juxtaposition of differing polarities, which means what? If all you've known is the negative of life, the unknown would then intrinsically mean the positive. Just because it's positive does not mean you will experience it as positive until you develop the maturity to see it clearly. Just like how puppies are born with their eyes sealed shut. Until they develop the maturity, their eyes don't open. They're not able to see. So even if the truth is placed before you repeatedly, until you develop the ability to see clearly what your life has placed before you, you will not see it. You will not understand it for what it is. Card number 41, bring it into form. Allowing yourself to take those steps, because remember, Michael says the card right above this. What card is that? Oh, okay. Okay, so for those on the podcast, it's a card with the visual of feet and lower legs walking towards something. And the further explaining of card number 12, every journey starts with a single step. A visual of a woman holding a suitcase of butterflies in a tunnel of change, prepared to take the first steps to her journey. And that being paired with a card that was right above it, the card that comes right after it, because it's card 12. And the card that Michael instructed me to pull from the stack is card 13, Power of Attraction, which is a twin flame card. For some of you, you're walking towards bringing into form a connectivity between you and another soul. Again, remember, celestial pairs, celestial connections have nothing to do with fornication and romance. They have everything to do with elevations in learning, in supporting each other, learning together or in separation. Card number 22, she feels, she knows. You can feel what this is about. You know what this is about. You know how this applies to your personal life, your personal journey. All of us have different details that we are working with in our personal life. That's okay. We don't all have to have the same details. But you cannot apply someone else's message, and they have a different life with different details to your life. So that means you have to begin hearing these messages and figuring out how to interpret them, how to receive them for yourself in your situation. First and foremost, we do not try and force things, messages to fit. If it doesn't already intrinsically fit, where you're like, oh my gosh, she's talking about so-and-so, then why are you going to try and find someone to apply this message to? No, the message then is not for you. Okay. Card number 1, After the Storm. The consciousness. The landscape of your consciousness is being terraformed by the storms of your life. You are the storm. You are the sunshine, the clouds, the rain, the thunder, the lightning. You are the everything and the nothing and the spaces in between within your auric field, within your personal existence. Allow yourself the permission to be who you are. Be who you are. Live your life. Allow yourself to receive what needs to be received. Right now, Arcturian activation, card number 34. You are needing to receive some healing. Healing from the self. Healing of the soul. Healing of the parts of you that were injured by the misaligned perceptions that you carried. Allow yourself to heal. For some of us, we don't allow ourselves to heal simply because we've become so accustomed to the pain. The wound has become a dear friend. Is it a dear friend? Or is it a state of being? That wound is not your identity. It's just not. It's not all that you are. It's evidence of what you've lived through and that you couldn't be destroyed. It's a mark that's left on you to remind you. And for those who carry so many scars all over their energetic bodies, stop seeing it as evidence of how you're broken and damaged. Honey, you live as walking proof that life couldn't break you and no other human as well. You are the definition of unfuckwithable. And the only thing that messes with your mind is your perception of yourself, the ways in which you use other people's definitions, concepts, theories to further shame yourself. Why? Why is there a need for shame? Because shame is a construct of that personal prison. It's a way to efficiently control you without even putting any effort into it. Why do I have to be ashamed of who I am? Because I don't fit your box? F your box. Why do I have to be ashamed of who I am? Because I don't act like a lady? I'm not a lady, I'm a goddess. Why do I have to be ashamed? Because recognizing the gravity of me and finally living like I know I carry gravity is somehow evidence of me being cocky? Okay, F your rooster. It's not cocky, it's self-awareness. You recognizing how amazing you are and the gravity that you carry and your intrinsic worth because you exist has nothing to do with tearing other people down, with diminishing their intrinsic worth. So unless your value and your power has to do with pointing out how people are less than you because they don't agree with you, how is that cocky? How about this? The people who cannot accept that you've entered into a place where now you begin to love yourself, accept yourself, celebrate yourself, no longer hide your awareness of how amazing you are just by existing. How about they get out of your way and work on their own insecurities? You don't have to play small just to make them feel comfortable. Excuse me. How about they need to exit their boxes so they can get more comfortable within themselves? You know, I'm not here to make you more comfortable with yourself. I'm here to show you that you can be yourself, and that alone is very comfortable. That it's okay for other people to not understand your value, your worth, what you bring to the table. But I offer so much, Emmy. Okay, who are you offering to? I think of this memory that I have where I went to dinner. No, I went and visited someone in real life. It was years ago. And before we left, I wanted to share a meal with them that we cook. You know, me and my husband cook it and we share it with them. And, you know, this is a family that has a traditional American diet. I guess not much exploration of other ethnic cultures and ethnic foods and stuff. I mean, it's not like I was cooking things that were insane, you know? Um, but there was this one dish that I made. My husband is from Hawaii. Hawaii. My husband is from Hawaii. And so that final meal where I was like, I want to make you guys dinner. I decided to make my husband's favorite thing, which is Hawaiian barbecue. And if you've never had Hawaiian barbecue, it's sweet and savory. It's like fantabulous. I love it. I love it. And so I made that out of chicken thighs. And like I said, it's not anything like super crazy, like parts of animals that are not, normally consumed in the United States. But it was just this thing of like very, very uncomfortable having to eat this food that tastes weird, you know? And if I based my opinion of the food that I made that I enjoyed on this particular family's opinion of the food that I made, I would think it was disgusting and I would stop making it. And did I need to stop making it? No, it's literally so yummy. For any of you who have had Hawaiian barbecue before, like for real, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, then try it out and see if you like it. Some people like it, some people don't. But just because someone else doesn't like it does not mean it has to automatically lose value for me. I like it. I like it. I come from a people with diabetes. Yeah, Hawaiian food is very similar to Filipino food. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's yummy. I like it. It's not something out of the norm. But if I allow someone who's never experienced something beyond their comfort zone and they're not open to experiencing things that are outside of their comfort zone because they're so like narrow-minded in their existence, I'll never have permission to be me. I'll never have permission to be me. I mean, listen to this. I entered the United States as a toddler. I'm an immigrant. I entered the United States as a toddler, speaking zero English. I started school not knowing a single word of English. I was in ESL classes, English as a second language. Kids in ESL, they get made fun of. I'm just saying, I learned how to speak English not from my parents, despite the fact that my teacher told my mom she never talks. She just smiles the cutest smile when I ask her a question. And my mom finally told her she doesn't know English. So my teacher told her to let me watch Sesame Street. That's how I learned to speak English. Okay. Okay. So I'm not quite Americanized enough to really fully be accepted by all of the American people I grew up with, right? So I can't quite American right, but I'm too Americanized to Pinoy properly. I'm almost like a biracial child, and this is not said to diminish the struggle of biracial child. Those of you who are biracial know exactly the pain I'm talking about, where you're not light enough to be that side of the family, but you're also not dark enough to be that side. So who can you claim? Neither. That sucks. That sucks. I can't claim either. I don't have permission to be American because I'm an immigrant. Growing up, my cousin used to tease me. She used to refer to me as illegal. Biznatch, I got my permanent green card. Stop it. Biznatch, stop that. She used to refer to me as illegal or alien. And she used to tell me immigration's coming to pick me up. And I also I don't behave like a traditional well-mannered Filipina. We're taught to be very very feminine, submissive, like accommodating. We can't have any type of like aggression or speak up and stuff. It's not a good Filipina. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where it's like, if I have to wait for someone to give me permission to fit in, I'm never going to fit in. How about F that? I don't need permission. I exist. That's the only permission I need. The moment I was born, creation gave me a free VIP pass. What? What? I said, what? Yeah, no, seriously. I don't even fit into spiritual groups. Someone accused me of being spiritual. I need to return back to Jesus. I got rejected by both sides. I got rejected by the spiritualists. I also got rejected by the religious folk. How about I'm done? I'm done trying to fit in. I'm done trying to play a role that I was never created to play. I'm just going to heal myself and do my thing. Shadow work. Card number 50, shadow work. When I got rejected by the very group that I thought was supposed to, accept me, when I got rejected by the very person who's supposed to represent the soul that will always love me. Well, I don't know if I got rejected, but I don't know if I did. I just assumed. I assumed I got rejected by my twin. I was like, oh my God, this is my BFF for life. I found my BFF for life. And then I didn't have a BFF. And now I'm kind of just like, really, really, I don't need any of that. My life grows me in a way that presents me all these different options that helps me to grow even more. You know what I'm saying? And so, do I need people's permission to exist? No. You have Christy cases, you don't have the accent. Jesus. The one over there. If you piss me off enough, I absolutely have an accent. Yeah, no, if you piss me off, I totally have an accent. I used to be ashamed of it. Now I'm not. If you listen closely, you can hear the quality of my pronunciation, like the way I pronounce certain words. It's not that it's a little bit off. It's that it becomes more like newscaster, where you don't have the ability to identify what region of the United States I come from. Certain parts of the South, they don't say fire, they say fire. Like you don't have that, because I've learned and I've put so much effort into assimilation that it's completely wiped out certain aspects that would serve as identifiers. The wounds that were inflicted because I'm an immigrant go very, very deep, go very, very deep. And so there was a lot of emphasis on assimilation from early childhood. There was a lot of emphasis on assimilating. And it helps that I arrived in this country before I was 5, because the younger you are when you're in my native tongue, which is a dialect of the Philippines, I hear English and it's English. So if you learn to speak another language past a certain age, your brain will receive it as a foreign language, and then it has to be interpreted first, converted into your native tongue before it's then understood by your cognitive mind. Because I arrived before I hit that age, I don't have that. English has become like an adopted native language for me. But still, you can hear the way I pronounce certain things. I'm very cognitive of that. Why? Because I was ridiculed to no end because of it. Luckily, I didn't care. Luckily, I didn't care. See, this almost came out. Card number 7, new dimensions, reaching new levels of you within yourself, new places of consciousness within you, and allowing yourself to exist there with zero shame. Zero shame. Okay. Parasitic. So there's this thing going on right now. There is parasitic infiltration, right? Parasitic infiltration has occurred. There's been a lot of mimicry, a lot of thought inception. Those who you thought were something might now suddenly become something else. For example, you thought that someone was like a very trusted, safe space. Well, now there is a potential, not a guarantee, but a potential that this once safe person might be, you know, a Trojan, a breeding ground for parasitic attempts to lower your frequency through adversity, through maybe unrecognized, unintentional gaslighting, where they contradict everything you're saying, just, to contradict everything you're saying, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. A lot of parasitic attempts, okay? See how there's two faces to one being. See that like proboscis type thing, that straw-like structure where it's pressure injected. The thoughts are pressure injected into you. Direction sigil. Choose a direction, commit to it. Find yourself out of that situation. Now, this came in reverse, so that tells me either you're at risk of, or it's already occurred where your sense of direction has been turned on its head. It's okay. You can correct it. As soon as you become aware of something, excuse me, you're then being provided the opportunity to correct it, to fix it, to once again take a moment to find the actual direction you're supposed to go in. Okay. Card number 51, shedding cycle. For some, you're going to be shedding aspects of you, your personality, you know, all of that. For others, you're going to be shedding people. Can I just address this really quick? Thank God you know English. I don't have an issue with you personally. I do just want to take a moment to kind of use this platform to speak something that's in my heart. English is not the standard with which the world should live. The American standard is not a healthy standard. And the moment we begin to recognize that and how we've been programmed as a nation to believe that we are the standard, the gold standard by which the world should model itself, to the point where we don't even use the same metric system that pretty much the rest of the world uses. Like, we have to stop buying into that. We have to. We just have to. Okay. Again, I'm not directing it or am offended by you personally, or your comment. I don't feel like your comment had any type of intrinsic or intentional attempt to degrade or devalue. I don't feel that at all. But it did trigger a surfacing of this thought and this stance that I have in my heart. Like, you guys, we're not going to fix our nation until we begin to accept, acknowledge we have major problems within our borders. We're just not going to fix it. We need to fix it. We need to. And I want to say, first and foremost, the system is operating beautifully, flawlessly, exactly in the way it was designed to operate. We have to find a new system. We have to find a new way. We have to begin opening ourselves to other people's cultures, other people's experiences, other people's this, that, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? We have to. We have to. We have to lead ourselves out of that small, confined box. You know how many times I've been in melting pot type cities, and then I've been shamed for being an immigrant? I mean, you not realize you are also a transplant. At some point, your relatives were transplanted here. I was once at a grocery store and I was just like, the people in front of me. Okay, so this was years ago. There was a person in front of me who got upset at the person in front of them. We're at the cash register. And they were upset because the people in front of them were speaking a foreign language. I was just like, the person in front of me said, "You're in America. You need to speak English." They were speaking Navajo. I'm sorry, sir. You can kindly go back to Europe. They are the rightful indigenous people of this land, this continent, America. You said America, right? That's the continent. That's not the nation. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? They were speaking Navajo. It's like, you got some nerve. You got some nerve. Uh, you got some nerve. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Uh, mm, mm. We have to make the choices that are best for all of us, not just the choices that are comfortable, that are easy. Because I've received the same type of ugliness in the flip side of that coin, where I was at an Asian store and the cashier, I did my eye makeup a certain way that day, and the cashier says something to me in Cantonese, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't, because I can tell the difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. I was like, I don't speak Cantonese. And she laughed at me in a very condescending manner. She's like, you don't know your own language? I'm not Cantonese. I'm fluent in Tagalog, though. You want to speak Tagalog to me? I'll answer you then. And she's like, oh, no, I come from a completely different country. Yeah. Yeah. We have to exit out of this thing of expecting people to behave in the way that makes us feel the most accepted, the most dominant, you know. And I know that that's where it comes from, this need to feel heard, to feel seen, to feel validated by people in your environment. I mean, do you need that, or do you want that? I was going to tie my hair up, but that looks weird. Do you need that, or do you want that? Do you just want to feel comfortable? Do you know how powerful it is to exist as you are, complexion, facial features, and all, in an environment that's completely devoid of any people like you, and still understand, know, and accept your worth? You know how powerful that is? I've existed in environments where I am the only Asian in that environment. I am the only one that is not of a pink undertone. That's okay. It's okay. It's literally okay, you know, because we traveled so much, and we would go to certain parts, certain regions of this nation where there wasn't much diversity. And before, it used to irk my husband, like, why are all these people staring at us? like, because we're brown. And I'm like, we're unicorns, baby. We exotic unicorns. I used to be like, he used to get irritated. And then he finally understood the gravity of our presence. Like, oh, oh, damn, we are unicorns. We are like exotic unicorns. And, I don't need to be upset. That's their problem. Really, it is their problem. It's not my problem. I have no problem with my existence. It's not my problem. It's theirs. Let them deal with it. Don't carry that with you. Make that difficult decision, that scary decision, to honor yourself, no matter where you are within your journey, no matter where you are within the world. Okay? Make that very scary decision to really embrace yourself. Just embrace yourself. Soul separation. So, the shedding cycle, that was the last card that was pulled. And card number 47, soul separation. Maybe we're shedding the distortions that caused us to feel so separate from things and the people that we feel were taken from us. That, maybe for you, it has to do with that whole twin flame thing, or maybe it's family, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's an opportunity, an area, a region, whatever it is. Shed the parts of you that have made it so difficult to return back to that space that needs to be healed. I realize, when I don't want to return back to specific places, it's because I'm afraid of what I will find there, the devastation that I allowed to occur. People can't hurt or harm me without my permission. Let's understand the gravity of that statement really quick. So it's like, oh, Emmy, are you saying that if someone hits me, that I gave them permission? How did you get that? If I'm not giving you permission, and you strike me, that means I'm going to go out of my way to make sure you know you do not have my permission. How dare you? No. If I didn't know you were going to strike me in the first place, I couldn't have prevented that. So I can't take ownership of your decision to be a toxic mofo, right? But the moment you show me that you're capable of that, I'm not going to give you my permission. I'm first going to vocalize. I might also be physically reactive. I don't know. It depends on the situation. For sure, I'm going to remove myself from that. You don't have my permission. Your access to me has been revoked. I don't think so. Nope. Nope. And that's what I mean. We think like, oh, I'm not giving them permission. Okay, well, did you leave the area? No. I'm a sovereign. I get to exist here. Okay, well, go ahead. If they're there and they're toxic, you've chosen to give access to toxicity. That is passive permission. You do what you do, experience what you experience. I'm out. I'm out. But you need to help me. No, I don't. No, I don't. You want that experience. On some level, you want that experience. I'm going to respect that decision. You have that experience. I got other things I need to do. I'm good. I'm out. I'm good. No, thank you. And that's the thing with Pisceans and empaths. Why do we feel like we have to stick around and see it through? And I don't want them to feel like they've abandoned me. They have already abandoned all rhyme and reason. This is a classic case of your loyalty being used to harm you. You are not obligated to suffer the same wounds as someone who's choosing to be wounded. Let me repeat that. You are not obligated to suffer the same wounds as someone who is choosing to be wounded. Let that sink in. Invoke the Oraphim. Call to you the utmost protection. You know what can protect you? Logic paired with intuition. That is the utmost protection. If you're all logic, you're going to ignore that intuitive hit that's going to tell you you should leave. If you're going to be all